Who has not had cacao or been to a cacao ceremony before? Wow, that's impressive.
I've had cacao, ceremonial cacao, but not to an experience like this.
Yeah, cool. Well, the good news is no one's had this experience before because we always mix it up. We come at it from many different perspectives and angles because we like to keep people guessing, and we also like to make it a little bit more like life. And if you start coming and you have too many expectations and you think you know what's going to happen, then all of a sudden you stop opening up and growing, and you start trying to tell everyone else what's the right way or wrong way to do it, which is an illusion. And so we try to keep this thing living, and until this morning I had very little insight about what the meditations would be tonight. Sometimes I get the insights weeks ahead, sometimes I get a lot of specifics, sometimes I get abstract info. The cacao is ceremonial grade cacao. Typically, it doesn't have much else in it other than a little bit of sweetener. The cacao does have sweetener tonight, just so you know, but it's meant to taste a little bitter, bittersweet. It's not meant to taste like hot chocolate or anything like that. The main cacao tonight, though, I do have many different herbs and types of non-hallucinogenic type mushrooms in it, adaptogens for the health. The idea in the cacao is basically the grandmother helps to connect to the inner realms of the heart. And so in sipping the cacao or making relations with the cacao, it helps you to open up your heart a little bit. For some people, it can be a little stimulating. There is a very minor bit of caffeine that's in cacao, but it's that heart stimulating that can kind of maybe keep you a little bit awake into the dream world tonight. There is no cream or anything like that in the cacao. If anybody is a little bit worried about herbs or anything like that, I have a little side dish of here with cacao. It's just pure cacao with a little bit of sweetener. When we go through tonight, you're welcome to participate as much or as little as you want to honor your sovereignty. Feel free, like if people are coming up to get cacao and you decide you don't want to come up, then don't come up. Not a big deal, you know. What I would encourage you to do is just go a little bit beyond your normal boundaries so you can explore where your watermark is, and so maybe you'll be able to learn or grow or experience something in a new way that you couldn't otherwise if you're too locked into your ways. With the guided meditations tonight or journeys, we're going to play a little bit more because the first meditation has a little bit of ceremonial aspect into it, because the meditation, the nickname of this meditation is the Dragon's Cauldron. And so we're going to be adding a little bit to the cauldron here in the middle. Each person can add something to it if they want. Again, you don't have to. And then we'll be going into a meditation, guiding you through some things and opening up, and I'll explain more towards that in a little bit. Oftentimes we don't even tell you what the meditations are coming, but tonight we are. The second meditation is the beginning of something new for this community, in that I want to, how do I explain this one? So in there is, how many of you have ever heard of the Patanjali's sutras of Raja Yoga? Anybody? And so they're quite old, but the difference with them, there's yogas built for different bodies. And this is why the Raja or kingly yoga is to help people connect to the mental body in the mental plane, which is written a long time ago, written in metaphors and written to be very esoteric on purpose. And now some of the teachings are being put more out there into the ether for those that can tap into that. And the idea in that is to help you go from a reactive type of life to where you can start to become a co-creator in life. And so in the last recent ages, it was more about introducing people to the Creator through others and outside of you. And into this age now is where you're starting to find a balance of finding the Creator from within. I guess might be a way to say it. And so anyway, the second meditation tonight is going more towards, I'm still going to be talking, and the problem with talking with words is it brings you real local. And that's why light language is kind of becoming a little bit more out there now in the public domain, because similar to speaking in tongues, it goes from a local registry to a non-local. So it allows you to expand out. And then you have things that I'm not that familiar with. I'm sure many of you know a lot more about it than me, but for instance, binaural beats and things like that, which are trying to help you find this range between the astral body and the mental body. And so anyway, with Patanjali, what they're trying to do is they first introduce you to different stages of meditation. One of the earliest stages is concentration, and then it goes to meditation and then contemplation. But you will not find out there anywhere where those meditation and contemplations are defined. But I'll give you a little insight on those as far as my opinion goes. Take what you will. The concentration stage is really there's a horizontal plane and the vertical, and the horizontal and the concentration is to help you take it out into the world. And then there's a concentration that goes vertically once you learn how to really focus in, because if you can focus in your energies, you can start being more of a co-creator with directed intent. And so the idea in concentration is to get you into the alpha state. Meditation is the beginning parts of, instead of you seeing the world with concentration through the lens of your personality, you're starting to bring in your soul's light. And so instead of having an individual perspective, you start having a group perspective. And then contemplation is actually where you're, instead of seeing it in this plane, you're seeing it from the soul's plane. And so you're kind of seeing, or if you look at our book, it's kind of like seeing things from the outer tunnel instead of the inner tunnel where you're working with free will. It's affecting group consciousness. And so anyway, long story short, tonight we're going to start practicing a little bit with the next technique, which is spatial relationship. And so the idea is, instead of having just the concentration with your focusing, instead you're letting go of a little bit of that. So in concentration, what happens is you get to a pinpoint, and if you can get to a pinpoint subtle enough without trying to control it, you start expanding. And so in this spatial relationship, it is about your expanding relationships. And so we're going to practice a little bit, maybe with a little bit of sound, and also using your imagination or mind to open up to the space around you and to keep expanding. And through that expansion, what it's helping you to do is to get more into the theta state. And so the theta state is a little bit different than the alpha state, which can help you heal. The theta state can help you to, after you've created some space from that healing, you can redirect and start bringing in your chosen energies. So for most people, the time when you hit theta is only in the first 7 years of your life, where you're getting programmed. And so in those first 7 years, you're framing out how to interact with the world. How do you receive and give love? Or how do you get noticed, or how do you get protected, and how do you protect, those kinds of things. And then for the rest of your life, you're just replaying those scripts. The idea in the theta state is you can instead bring in new scripts at your own choosing. So anyway, that's a lot of information, but I was just trying to give you an idea of what the themes for tonight's meditations are about.
What is the traditional cacao ceremony? The quick version. What is
Yeah, I would butcher it if I tried to tell you, to be honest. And I don't want to act like I know everything. In many central, specifically American countries, it's used as the opener for many, many ceremonies, just to help open the heart. And so, to me, I would see it very similar to other places like in Asia where they use the tea ceremonies to help open relations. And so oftentimes, instead of you go to meet somebody's family for the first time, you might sit down and have tea to open you up and to start relating, feeling that warmth go within you. The most important thing is first, you're just going to, instead of just drinking it, we'll walk you through a couple steps tonight, which we don't normally do with the first couple sips, but you're also going to check your senses. So what's it smell like? What's it feel like? What's it taste like? Whatever, right? And so the idea is at first you're making a relationship, your normal relationship, which is your physical senses. And then what you try to do, in whatever way it works for you, is then let go of all that stuff, what you think you know, and then get to the soul behind it. Do you see? And so with anything, there's a soul behind, right? So anything can be a teacher, right? And so in this experiment tonight, as you let go of the physical senses and start to open up to the soul, it means your heart, with compassion, is starting to open up to the heart of the grandmother behind the cacao, the spirit back there, right? And so anything can happen then, right? Much more important than anything, I would say, right? But it's going to speak to you in whatever ways that you are open to that language, right? If you are closed to it, like, oh, that doesn't happen, or I don't do this, then you'll get exactly what you manifested, right? And so the idea in this cauldron meditation tonight is to really say, how do I go into the underworld and see what's underneath of me, and then give it an opportunity to just be released. The idea is the soul of the thing is in the present moment, right? Connecting the past and the future where Spirit's dropping the breadcrumbs. Most people aren't present because they're projecting the past so heavily onto it, even with loving intentions, right? And even with a really thought out mind, right? A thought out mind can get you really connected to the physical world and is the biggest obstacle to the spiritual world. Because the spiritual world doesn't work on answers. It doesn't work on results. It doesn't work on... Well, it does work with intentions, yours and it mixed, but it doesn't, it's when the soul's connecting you, it's just trying to say, I'm here to support you, and you to have your experiences made more profound through your relationships, right? And so the soul is not going to say, oh, you need to go over here, you need to go over here. It's saying, whichever you choose is going to be all right, but try to be engaged with it. How do you more open up to life, to your experiences, to where you're very important, and at the same time, you're no more important than everything else around you. Right? So you're honoring you, but you're also saying not just who am I, but who am I not? Because the soul is all experiences, and you're just having one degree of those experiences. And so each time that you can notice how you're projecting onto the experience and honor that, and at the same time say, how do I also see all the other angles and perspectives? Each time you do that, you're expanding. You're getting closer to that soul consciousness because you're getting closer to a group energy of seeing things through all of the lenses, not just yours. Do you see? And the closer you get to that, the more that you can see love is what's standing under. Right? Understanding up here will get you logic. When you realize understanding is the opposite, and that's how you connect to these things, is actually through the opposites, it's what's standing under. Another way that you can do understanding as an opposite is through misunderstandings. Right? The best way you can learn is not to say, how do I confirm everything I think is right, but where's the gaps? Where am I not seeing something? Where is there an opportunity that maybe I don't have the whole picture? Or yes, that's true, but can't this also be true? Do you see? Each time you do that, you're expanding out further. You're connecting into more of a consciousness that's not just about you, but about all that you interact with within your field. So be careful when you ask a question, because you can see I get pretty long-winded.
Thank you.
One thing that, a message that came to me many years ago, I think is a pretty good one for tonight. And it was, from that which you seek is from that which you will find. Sorry, I haven't said it in a long time. And so, from that which you seek is from that which you will find. People don't realize this, but we're very complex, right? And so no two people are looking at the world from the same perspective, right? But you also have different bodies that have different energies informing those bodies that really help to determine how you will feel and perceive into an experience. At the same time, that is also determining your relationship with the spirit world. Do you see? So, for instance, when people go to a Sundance ceremony, they really start to think that, man, we're really building the power. Everyone's getting together after all these days. Or, you go to a church revival and you're doing all these, because all this like-minded intent and prayer is coming in. But the thing is, it was always there. You're not building anything. It's kind of counterintuitive, because there's always this relationship between the feminine, which is form. It's also known as the negative, like the earth is a negative, but you don't see it as bad, right? It's the form side of life. And then the masculine, which is taking the step. And so the idea in the feminine is you open up to see what your form is, and then whatever comes in, then the idea is you act upon it. And once you act upon it, in a way what you just did was you built a step to the next form, right? And so the tricky thing in it is the form was always there. I kind of see it like a pegboard. I don't know if that's the right word, but the picture like all these bulbs next to each other in rows after rows, but nothing's lit up. But as soon as you give your intention to a certain bulb, it lights up. Do you see the bulb was always there? Do you see the form is always there? And so what's happening with tonight, for instance, is you have an opportunity just to say, okay, I have these certain forms, whether it's a fear or a pride or whatever, but that's not the whole of me. And if you can release that to step into new forms, some new opportunities for things come in. Do you see? Because now you're looking at the world through a slightly different lens than you were before. And the cacao helps to open up the heart, but in many of the teachings, for the chakras up here, the chakras down here are about your personal relationships, and then the ones up here are about it's no longer personal, it's about your relationship with others. But in a group sense rather than an individual sense. And so a lot of times people, when they talk about the heart, they also talk about love, and they talk about, another key word is transformation. And in a way, that's what tonight is offering through the cacao, is a transformation. Do you see? In other words, just opening to a new form that's always been there for you. And that's why a lot of this, one of the key words to this path is remembrance. And so the Greek word for truth is aletheia, and that word means unforgetting, loosely translated. Do you see? In a way, you're not really learning, you're just unforgetting what you already knew. Do you see? Is everyone ready? So what we're going to do is we'll walk through a guided meditation, connecting in, and then afterwards we'll open up to the cacao, and we'll bring that cacao kind of into the meditation as well. Take a moment to settle in, to relax. During the meditation, you're welcome to follow the words, but you're also welcome to drift away if you want. If you tend to be someone who likes to go deep into your sleep, and that deep sleep comes with a deep snore, maybe ask your neighbor to give you a tap if needed, or request it, or whatever it may be. If not, I have a couple things up here I can throw. Let your body settle into the support beneath you. Allowing your hands to rest softly in your lap or over your heart, or wherever they feel most at ease. Allowing the eyes to close or to soften your gaze towards the floor. Giving yourself permission to be fully present. Giving yourself permission to be still. And with that stillness, giving yourself permission to be focused. Safe and okay. Surrounded by love. Support. Taking a slow breath in, and then gently releasing it. And then just taking another breath in, allowing the air to reach a little bit deeper into your body. And then gently exhaling, as if the body itself is setting down a weight it no longer needs to hold for the next few moments. With this first cauldron, the one in the center of the room, we're building it with a conscious intention of creating a vessel of transformation. But now, in this meditative journey, you will move inward, discover another cauldron, an older one, hidden beneath the surface of the self. This inner cauldron holds the ingredients of the underworld, the subtle memories, fears, assumptions, the longings or protective patterns, the emotional residues that may be silently shaping how you perceive into your experiences. Tonight, with love, with a little bit of courage, and with the support of the guardians, we will look into that cauldron, not to judge what is found, but to clear out what no longer needs to cast its shadow over your everyday life. So begin to allow this room to quiet around you. Let the cauldron in the center of the room remain alive in your awareness, filled with prayers and offerings, intentions, and unseen medicines that each person has brought. Feel that shared cauldron glowing softly in the middle of the space, not just as an object, but as a living symbol. A place where separate offerings come together to form one medicine. In this place, the intentions beginning to gather heat. In this place where magic is made through presence and sincerity and love. And then bringing your awareness back into your own body. Feeling into the feet, the legs, the hips, the spine, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the throat, the face, the crown of the head. Allowing your breath to move naturally. You don't need to force the mind to be still. You only need to let the doorway open. As tonight we're going to be traveling beneath the surface, into the underworld within, the place of hidden roots, old patterns, forgotten feelings, and deep instinct. We go there not as punishment, not as fear, and not as darkness for darkness' sake. We go there because the underworld is a holy place. It is where seeds sleep before they rise. It's where forgotten pieces await to be seen. It is where old magic can be cleared so new life can breathe. Imagining now the room around you beginning to soften. The walls become a little bit less solid. The sounds become a little bit more distant. The ordinary world begins to shimmer as if a veil is being gently drawn back. And with this, you find yourself standing beneath a vast night sky. The air is cool and it's quiet. Above you, the stars are bright, ancient, and watchful. The moon hangs somewhere in the distance, silver and calm, spilling soft light over the earth. You can feel the ground beneath your feet. Perhaps it's moss, stone, soil, or forest floor. Around you are tall trees, their branches moving slightly in the night air, whispering in a language older than words. From somewhere nearby, you hear the call of a night owl. It's low, steady, and mysterious. The sound does not startle you, it gathers you. It calls to the part of you that can see in the dark, the part of you that knows the unseen world is not empty, but alive. The owl appears on a branch ahead of you, its eyes luminous, wise, and patient. It looks at you without judgment. It does not explain itself. It simply turns its head slightly, spreads its wings, and begins to fly deeper into the forest. Innately, you understand you are being invited to follow. So you begin walking behind the night owl. The path is narrow but clear. The forest is dim but not frightening. Every step guided by moonlight, as the trees seem to make room for you. The earth seems to know your feet. And as you walk, notice the scent of the night air. Perhaps damp soil, pine, smoke, or rain. Notice the sounds, the soft movement of branches, the distant call of unseen creatures, the quiet rhythm of your breath. You are not alone here. You're being guided by the wisdom that knows how to move through darkness without losing the light. The owl leads you to the base of an ancient hill. At first it looks like stone and root, earth and shadow, but as you come closer, you notice an entrance hidden amongst the roots of an old tree. The roots curve around the opening like the ribs of the earth. A soft glow comes from within, not bright, but warm enough to show the way. The owl lands at the entrance and turns back to look at you. You may pause here for a moment and feel whether you're ready to proceed. There's no force in this journey. You enter only with your own permission. And if any part of you feels unsure, you are welcome to ask for protection, guidance, and gentleness before stepping forward. When you're ready, step through this entrance into the underworld. And as you do, the air changes. Becomes still, deep, and ancient. You begin descending a natural stone passageway, gently sloping downward into the earth. The walls are lined with roots, crystals, and small points of light that glows like stars hidden underground. The owl flies ahead of you, silent now, its wings barely moving. With each step, you're taken deeper, not away from yourself, but towards something true within you. With every breath, you move beneath the noise of the surface mind, beneath the explanations, beneath the roles, beneath the stories you tell others, and even the stories you tell yourself. At the end of this passage, the space opens into a great underground chamber. It's vast, circular, and quiet. The ceiling rises above you like the inside of a cathedral made of stone. As crystals grow from the walls, roots hang down like threads from the world above. In the center of this chamber, resting over a bed of dark glowing embers, there's a cauldron. An old, ancient cauldron, older than life itself, older than memory. Notice what it's made of. It's been sitting here waiting for you. The owl lands nearby and becomes still as you walk slowly towards the cauldron. And as you approach, you sense the cauldron contains the ingredients of your own inner world. Not the conscious intentions you placed into the shared cauldron earlier, but the hidden mixture of underneath ordinary awareness. The old emotional flavors, the instincts, protections, fears, griefs. The beliefs you absorbed before you knew how to question them. The memories that still color the present moment. The solid impulses that may sometimes overshadow how you feel, how you perceive or react, or how you imagine what is possible. Stand before this cauldron now and begin to look inside of it. You don't need to force yourself to see anything, allowing the images to arise on their own, perhaps colors or shapes, smokes or fragments, symbols, faces, words, places, or even a simple feeling. Perhaps you see an ingredient of fear moving like gray mist. Perhaps you see an old anger glowing like red coal. Perhaps you see shame heavy like black stones. Or grief blue and deep as water. Or longing sharp and golden. Control tangled like roots. Perhaps you see some old vows you didn't know you were still keeping. Whatever appears, let it be seen through kindness. You're not here to blame yourself or to fix anything. You're just here to observe what's in the cauldron, the ingredients that were gathered over time. Some of these ingredients perhaps placed by pain, some by survival, some by love that did not know how else to protect you. Some were inherited while others were learned. Some were chosen a long time ago by a younger version, just trying to stay safe. So be careful to look with mercy, to look with courage. Look with the soft honesty of someone who's ready to be free. Perhaps as you gaze into the cauldron, you begin to notice ingredients that have shaped your outer world. How they might have colored certain relationships. How they might have made some moments feel unsafe before they truly were. How they might have caused you with expectations before reality hit, expecting rejection, preparing for disappointment, holding back your voice, overgiving, withdrawing, proving, perhaps numbness, or caring more than what was yours. Do not analyze too much, just notice. The cauldron will show you enough. It will not show you everything. Only what is ready to be seen tonight. Now from somewhere beyond the chamber, you hear a deep sound. At first it might feel like distant thunder. Then you realize it is breathing. Slow, immense, ancient breathing coming from a nearby cave. The owl remains calm, so you know you are safe. The sound begins to grow closer. A warm golden glow begins to move across the stone walls. You sense a great presence approaching, powerful but not threatening, as a dragon emerges from the cave. This dragon may appear in any color, size, or form. Could be emerald, black, gold, silver, red, violet, or shimmering in many colors at once. Its scales may look like armor, jewels, stars, leaves, or ancient stone. Its eyes are fierce but loving. It carries the energy of ancient protection, sacred fire, and uncompromising truth. This is not a dragon of destruction for destruction's sake. This is the guardian of the pure heart. This is the keeper of the fire that clears illusions. This is the part of your own soul force that is no longer willing to let old shadows rule the future. The dragon comes slowly towards you. You do not need to move, you only breathe. You turn to look towards the cauldron again as the dragon comes behind and lowers its great head and gently rests it upon your shoulder, close enough that you can feel its warmth. You feel the breath of the dragon moving slowly and steadily with yours as you both begin to look into the cauldron. You are no longer looking alone. The places within you that once felt too heavy or tangled, too hidden, they are now being witnessed by strength and love at the same time. Feel the dragon's presence beside you. Feel its courage, lending courage to your own heart. Feel its fire waiting, not rushing. The dragon will not burn away your wisdom. It will not burn away your tenderness. It will not burn away the lessons that help make you what you are. It will only burn away the residue, the distortion, the old spell work of fear, the unneeded heaviness, the emotional debris that no longer belongs in the vessel of your becoming. And now place one hand, either real or imagined, upon your heart. Feel the heart beneath your hand. Beneath all of the layers and all of the stories, all of the old ingredients, there is something pure within you. This is your true vibration. This is the note of your soul that has not been ruined by anything you have lived through. It may have been covered, it may have been forgotten, it may have been surrounded by smoke, but it has remained quiet, patient, and alive. When the moment feels right, silently or inwardly, give the command to your dragon. Wipe the slate clean so that the pure heart can breathe into the stillness. When you give this command, the dragon hears it. It lifts its head. The chamber grows silent. The embers beneath the cauldron grow blighter. The owl watches from the edge of the room as you take in a slow breath. And then as you exhale, the dragon opens its mouth and releases its sacred fire into the cauldron. See the fire enter the cauldron, the vast colors as they shift and transform, as it burns with intelligence, burns with love. It burns what's ready to be released. The old fears begin to turn to smoke. The shame cracks open and dissolves. The grief releases into heaviness. The anger gives back its trapped power. As old assumptions burn away, opening up for new potential. False conclusions burning, outdated protections into the flame. The fire moves through the cauldron until all the old ingredients lose their hold. Let the dragon keep breathing fire into the cauldron until this occurs. Let it burn and burn until there is nothing left that needs to remain. Nothing to fix or to manage. Nothing to pick back up or to carry forward with habits. Only fire, only clearing, only the deep mercy of release. The chamber begins to fill with light, not a harsh light, but a living light, a cleansing light, a light that does not accuse, a light that simply reveals what is no longer needed as it returns to its emptiness. Now the dragon closes its mouth as the fire settles to reveal an empty cauldron. For a moment there is only stillness. Allowing yourself to feel this emptiness not as loss but as freedom. The hidden heaviness is no longer stirring beneath your perception in the same way. Breathe into this stillness, allowing your pure heart to breathe into the stillness. Feeling now the purity of your true vibration. The part of you that has been resting beneath all of those layers. Your own unique coded vibration. Whatever it feels like, allow that to be enough. The true you that exists beneath the fear, beneath the defense. The you that exists beneath the need to prove, to protect, to hide, or to brace. The quiet note of your being before the world told you what to become. Staying here for a few more breaths, letting the pure heart breathe. Allowing your body to receive and record the feeling of being cleared. Letting the mind rest in the unfamiliar beauty of not having to hold the old material together. Nothing to do, no next steps, just letting there be space. And with this, you watch as the empty cauldron begins to transform. The old form starts to shimmer as the surface softens, as the edges become translucent. You can see light moving through it. Slowly, the cauldron transforms into a crystal ball. Clear, luminous, radiant. It rests before you in the center of the chamber, no longer holding the weight of old residue, but reflecting the possibility of what may now come forward. The future is no longer being viewed through the smoke of the past, It is shining bright. Take a moment to look into the crystal ball, not to force a vision, but simply to allow a new possibility to appear. Perhaps hours or days or weeks ahead. Perhaps a conversation unfolding with grace. Or making a difficult choice at a familiar moment. Whatever you see or don't see, being all right with the outcome as the images begin to gently arise. They don't have to be fully detailed, allowing the mysteries to be present. Perhaps asking the crystal ball, gazing into it, what becomes possible when I no longer create from the old shadow? How does my week change when I move from pure heart? Now imagine the crystal ball shining brighter. It does not show a fixed future. It shows an available future, a path of energy that opens when you choose to walk differently. See yourself moving through the hours, the days, and the weeks ahead with a fresh perspective. See yourself pausing before reacting, breathing before speaking. See yourself recognizing beauty in small places. Or perhaps meeting familiar people with less old residue between you. See yourself moving with protection, but not defensiveness. With clarity, but not hardness. With love, but not self-abandonment. And with magic, but also grounded choice. And with that, the dragon lowers its head again beside you. The owl spreads its wings. You understand this journey is complete for now. The dragon's fire remains within you as the power to clear the way. The owl's wisdoms remain within you as the ability to see into the darkness rather than running from it. The crystal ball reminds you to remain within as a vision of a future no longer clogged by the past. And then bow inwardly to these guardians, or simply thank them in your heart. As you turn to begin walking back towards the passageway through the underground chamber, remains glowing behind you as you ascend slowly, making your way up through the corridor, passing the roots and the crystals, the small star-like lights in the walls. With each step upward, you feel yourself returning with more space inside. Fresh breath, clarity, more possibility. You are not leaving the magic behind, you are bringing it with you. Ahead you see the entrance beneath the roots of the ancient tree. The night air greets you. You step back into the forest beneath you with the moon and the stars. The owl flies once again around, then returns to the branches above. The dragon remains below, but you can still feel its warmth in your heart, your belly, your spine, your breath. The forest is quiet now. The night feels a little different. The world feels a little bit more alive as you begin to sense your body seated here in this room. The support beneath you, beginning to feel your hands or your feet as you begin to adjust your hips, as you begin to roll your wrists, your neck, shoulders, coming back to the room. The body can be relaxed, but the mind becomes alert again. Feeling your breath, taking a deep breath in and out. Making more contacts as you open your eyes to greet the room. Noticing the shared cauldron still at the center. Moving your toes and your fingers a little bit more. So, moment, what we're going to do, the two people here, Shar and Jacob, they're going to be pouring the cacao for you. It was medicine. This cacao helps to heal. This cacao helps to open up the spirit. But specifically tonight, this cacao is part of a transformation. And so decide what intentions you want to feed into that cacao. Speak to your cacao and recognize that this love potion does not control your future, but it reveals possibilities. That you no longer have to carry the old stories. That go forward, you can decide to tell new stories based on the intent that you have chosen tonight. So take in the scent of the cacao, the earthiness. Honor the ones that helped bring this cacao to our hands tonight. Grandmother Cacao, helping to open us up. And as you and when you are ready, begin to sip the cacao. With each sip, feeding your body, giving you nutrient, opening you up to new possibilities. Take a few minutes in quiet now to enjoy the cacao and your relationship with it. It's important to note one last thing, that when you start to tap into your Theta state, if you do, or you start to tap into your astral senses, when you tap into your astral senses, there is things beyond it. When you first touch with spirits, there are things beyond it. Most times the spirits you're touching are spirits, or you're touching the reflections of spirits. So stay humble in it. There's always new levels of understanding. But as you tap into the Theta and someone says things like, I see things or I have vision, that can really throw a lot of people off, because oftentimes that is not actually what's happening. It's not a physical sense. And so you can relate to it in your own way. Do you see what I'm saying? So just be open to the collective of it all, of sensing into it your own ways, of building your own relationship your own ways, and then allowing it to expand even beyond that. But every person has a gift. Every person has lots of gifts. And so if you chose those gifts for this lifetime, they can start to point the way towards how you can build your own relationships with others, or with your wisdoms, or with spirit, or whatever it may be. Any questions or any other feedback before we drop into the meditation? So feel free on this one. If you want to lay down, you can. Again, just put your mugs to the side so no one knocks them over. You don't have to lay down. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't even have to follow the meditation. But if you want to, we'll be beginning in a minute. take a moment, whatever which way that you prefer to do it, build a relationship with how you connect to your meditative state. Whether it be, it's infinite how you might connect. It could be prayer, it can be with a deity, it can be with an intention, it could be with just letting stuff go. It could be with hitting yourself in the head so you stop thinking so much. Lauren might want to try that. Taking another deep breath in and gently letting it release. The inhale brings stillness. The exhale brings focus. If you can, whichever way you're choosing to breathe, just try to have the same rhythm, the same count with your inhale versus your exhale. You can choose the count. Just take a couple nice, easy breaths in and nice, slow breaths out at the same pace. Allowing the body to know that for the next few minutes, there's nowhere else to be. And then allowing your breath to enter a natural flow state. Not too deep, not too controlled, just easy, steady, and gentle. We're going to do something a little bit different for this meditation. For a moment, maintaining whatever state you're starting to find. Keeping that state, what I'm asking you to do is to gently open your eyes. Maintaining that state. And just notice the room around you. Notice what's in front of you. What's behind you. To your left, to your right, above. Just notice those things for a moment. They're going to come into your meditation in a little bit. And then after you've done that, closing the eyes again. This meditation is not about concentrating tightly on one thing. Concentration can help gather the mind. It can sharpen awareness. It can bring us into a calm, focused state. But tonight we're going to practice something softer. We're practicing the widening of awareness. We're allowing the mind to loosen its grip so that we may enter a more spacious, dreamlike Theta field of consciousness. This is not a place we force ourselves into. It is a place we drift towards. Time is related to experience in the alpha. Space is related to theta in the relations. A place beneath effort. A place where awareness becomes wide, fluid, imaginal, and quietly alive, sparkling. So for now, just allow yourself to simply arrive, feeling the weight of your body, feeling the points of contact beneath you, rooting it down into the earth. Letting your body know, I am held, I am supported. Letting your mind know, I do not need to work so hard. Reminding with the heart that you are safe enough to soften. And now, even with the eyes closed, sense the space in front of your body, the air in front of your face, the space beyond your chest, other objects a couple feet away. You do not need to see clearly, simply sense into it. There is space in front of you. There is life in front of you. There is possibility in front of you. Allowing your awareness gently to reach forward. Just a little bit, as though the mind itself could become soft and spacious, touching the air without grasping it. Sensing into the particles of light within each air droplet. Allowing it to come alive. And now doing the same with the space behind you. The unseen space at your back. Let your awareness move there gently. Feeling the air behind your shoulders, the space behind your spine. The room or the world continuing behind you, even though you're not looking at it. Let yourself become aware that you are not only facing life, you are surrounded by it. There is support behind you. There is history behind you. There are unseen forces behind you. Allowing the back of your body to soften into the knowing that something larger is holding you. And then noticing the space to your left, letting awareness spread outward softly towards the left. No effort or strain. Just witnessing, recognizing the space exists there too. The twinkling of light. Doing the same for the space to your right, the air beside your right arm, by your right ear, the world extending in that direction. Allowing yourself to not only be your body, but beginning to merge with the space directly around you. Noticing the space above you, the ceiling, the sky, the vastness above that. Sense into the direction of above. Allowing your awareness to rise upward gently like mist. You may imagine your crown opening gently, not dramatically, just enough to sense that you're connected to something higher and wider. and then the space below you. Sensing into the soil, the stone, the root, the memory. While also feeling yourself between the above and the below, between the earth and the sky, between form and spirit. Between the wisdom to be revealed and the key that you hold, the visible and the invisible. And now simultaneously holding all of these directions at once. Front, back, left, right, above, below, within, without. And then try not to think about them one by one, allowing them to become one field, a sphere of awareness around you. You're not only a body sitting in space, you're also awareness noticing the space. The awareness resting inside a living field. Allowing the edges of your body to begin to feel a little less sharp. Letting the mind soften its need to define everything. Allowing the space around you to become a part of the meditation. The air around you is included. The room around you is included. Nothing needs to be pushed away. Everything can belong, including the sounds. Sensing this room as a whole, one space, not object by object, not chair, wall, floor, but the whole space at once. Allowing your awareness to become wide enough to hold the entire room without effort. As your mind is no longer a flashlight pointing at one thing, it's becoming like moonlight, soft, wide, non-grasping. Aware of it all without needing to name it. And then allowing your awareness to expand beyond the room. Sense the entire building. Sense the entire land. The entire forest as you continue to expand. Naturally, as the light of awareness expands, so too does the form of your being. Feel yourself expanding, not by trying to visualize it perfectly, but by feeling the relationship between where you are and what surrounds you. Simultaneously, you are here, but life continues all around you, growing, expanding, sensing the love that sustains it all. And then allowing your awareness to widen even further to the neighborhood, the surrounding land, the wider geography, the streets, the hills, the rivers, the animals, lights and windows or clouds passing overhead. You do not need to know it all. You're just beginning to feel that you're part of a larger living pattern. All of it held within a vast field. Expanding your awareness even further. The more you expand, your consciousness becomes light and begins to float upward. As you rise above the room, above the building, above the trees, above the fields, there's no hurry. You're not leaving your body behind, but your awareness is simply widening from a softer place now, a higher place, a more spacious place. From this place, imagine looking down at the land below, noticing the shapes of the roads, the rooftops, the pathways, the open spaces. Notice how everything that seems separate from the ground now begins to appear connected. Roads connecting the homes, roots connecting the trees, rivers connecting the land, people moving through unseen stories, every life with its own inner world, every being carrying hopes and memories, tenderness and struggles. From this widened awareness, let judgment begin to loosen, allowing the mind to stop dividing everything so sharply, allowing the heart to begin to see through a softer lens. As you continue to rise higher and higher, the land becomes broader beneath you. The details become less harsh. The edges soften. The world below becomes a pattern of movement and color and breath. Of light and shapes. You begin to feel more than you see. So we begin to open the Theta doorway, not by force, but by softening, by widening, allowing images to arise and dissolve with effortlessness. Through trusting the dreamlike intelligence beneath ordinary thought. As you begin to notice the clouds around you, soft, luminous clouds, they're not far away anymore, they're near, they're beneath you, beside you, all around you. Imagine, notice that you can step gently onto them, not as something solid in the ordinary way, but as something that you receives you in a way that a dream receives you. You step onto the clouds as they hold you softly, lovingly, and effortlessly. You begin walking on the clouds. And somehow you are also a part of the clouds, becoming lighter and softer. Your breath becomes mists. Your edges become gentle. You are walking through the sky, and the sky is walking through you. Feel what it is like to be part of the clouds without harsh boundaries or urgency, without a need to perform or to solve, only drifting awareness, soft movement, open space, light forming and dissolving. You might begin to feel yourself as vapor or light, breath or presence. You may still feel yourself as a human walking gently through the cloud world. Just let it be exactly however it comes. There is no wrong image here. There is only the invitation to loosen, to widen, to enter the living mystery. And then look through the clouds to see the world below, to see life sparkling, not bright in a harsh way, but soft and luminous, as if every tree, every river, every home, every animal, every stone, every blade of grass carries a hidden point of light. All is alive. All is breathing in its own way. All is participating in this great unfolding. Just seeing things as they are, no longer needing to judge or to fix, to correct or to explain. Just seeing truth wherever you look. Seeing the soft, accepting lens of love. Love doesn't deny pain. It doesn't pretend all things are easy. Love simply sees more deeply. Love sees the wound, and it also sees the light. It sees the struggle, and it also sees the becoming. Wherever it looks, it sees wholeness and balance. Wherever there's confusion, there's also the soul. Wherever an imperfect form, there's also a sacred life moving within it. And from this cloud space, allowing your heart to soften towards the world, towards the people you know and those you don't, towards the part of the life you think you understand and the part of the life you cannot yet understand. Let the soft accepting lens of love spread through your awareness, not as an emotion that you must manufacture, but as a way of choosing to see. a way of allowing, of remembering that all this life grows through a process. And now also imagine that loving awareness begins to shine gently from you, not as effort or a task, but more like moonlight touching water, or mist moving over a field. More like warmth quietly returning to the body after a long winter. Allowing the love to move outward from your heart into the clouds, into the sky, down towards the land, across the sparkling web of life that intersects with you. Let it touch the places in need of gentleness. Let it touch the places in you that are still learning how to trust. Let it touch the people in the situations that you have perhaps held a little too tightly. Let it touch them without control, without demand, without needing to change them in this moment. Pure blessings, softness, only the quiet recognition that you can now see through love. Now one more time, bring your awareness back to yourself within the clouds, feeling the spaciousness around you and within you. Feel the dreamlike quality of this place. A field where images can speak, where the deeper mind can breathe, where the intuition may arise, not as a sentence, but as a color, a texture, a symbol, a movement, or a knowing. And then gently, inwardly ask, what wants to be seen from this wider place? And then become quiet, do not search, just allow what wants to be seen from this wider place. Remember, whatever appears or doesn't appear, there is still only space. The deeper mind does not always answer in the way the surface mind expects. Sometimes the answer is spaciousness itself. And then allowing the clouds to begin to carry you gently. You do not need to walk anymore. You may rest into them. You may float with them. You may become them. Allowing your breath to become cloud-like. Dissolving and inhaling and widening and exhaling and softening. Whatever it may be. Allowing your awareness to move in waves, near and far. body and sky, self and world, form and mystery. And then slowly begin to sense the earth below calling you home, not pulling you down, simply inviting you back. The clouds remain a part of you, the spaciousness remains, the soft accepting lens of love remains. But now your awareness begins to descend gently, slowly and lovingly. You drift down through the sky, over the wide geography, over the patterns of land and water, the roads and the trees, the neighborhood, back to this building where your body rests. Feeling yourself returning to this room as you begin to sense the whole room again, the space in front of you, behind you, the space to your left, to your right. Feeling into your body the weight of it, the warmth of it, the breath moving through it. Feeling the contacts beneath you, feeling your hands and your feet, your heart. Letting your body become clear again, but not tight. Letting the mind become awake again, but not rushed. You're returning from a wide field. You're bringing back spaciousness and softness. You're bringing back the knowing that awareness does not have to contract around every thought. It can be open, inclusive, and loving. And then begin moving the fingers and toes, adjusting from side to side, sitting back up, returning to the room, knowing that the last one to sit up gets to share first. If you haven't already, opening your eyes. We're going to pass the talk stick around. Again, you can just pass it if you don't have anything to share, but what I would like to encourage you to do is notice the state that you're in right now, not just the sleepy state of the body, but your entire state, and see if you can focus and maintain that state as people share. So as they share, see if you can stay in that open state. Thank you, everyone. Shamba will be coming out to help you awaken. God bless and have a good night. Sweet dreams.